Well, it's a very good morning from me, and it's a very good morning from him. Welcome to my my special live stream here on Saturday morning. The topic really then is a route to financial advisor. I call that the route to financial advisor DipFA because that's the one that we as a business have chosen as the one that we're going to support this year and onwards to help you become financial advisors. And I'll explain to you why that's the case. Now, the big issue here, of course, is that here's the financial advisor, or mortgage advisor, I should say, who's having a stressful time, as you can see from his face, and he's got quite a lot of challenges facing him as a mortgage advisor. So what are the challenges that mortgage advisors have got? Well, there's quite a few going on. We've talked about the banking crisis, possibly. AI and chat boxes taking over advice. We've got loyalty of banks to you, possibly in question. People with fluctuating income, income for you as well as fluctuating. We've got broker competition coming in now as well. Larger brokerages possibly undercutting you with lower fees. You've got this long-term career demand from you and a need to diversify because you know that vanilla plain mortgages are not where your marketplace is going to be. So there's quite a lot of challenges for you as a mortgage broker if that's the only business area that you conduct. And you can ride storms of business, recessions, banking crises, whatever you want. Or you can go into an area which doesn't actually get affected so much by these things that you've got here. So the benefits then of becoming a financial advisor as opposed to just a mortgage broker. So let's just take a quick look at some of those. First of all, you are future-proofing yourself. You're enabling yourself to look at all aspects of financial planning for your clients. Therefore, you're going to be allowing yourself to have a business that's going to carry on for 10, 20, 30 plus years, rather than just a mortgage business that might be taken over by technology. There is actually little competition of artificial intelligence for financial advisors. Of course, there are wealth management apps. I use Vanguard to do my wealth management. I haven't got a lot of wealth, but I use them to do my own pension pot planning, my pension planning. I don't use a financial advisor to give me advice on where I should invest my money. I use automated intelligence for that. But that's just a small part of what you do as a financial advisor. It's a holistic view of people's financial needs. And that's still a face-to-face, people-to-people thing. The main reason is there's only 36,000 financial advisors in the UK. That's an awful lot more population than that. There ain't that many of these people. Mortgage brokers last count were 45,000. There's not that many financial advisors. And of course, the average age of a financial advisor is 59. I'm 59 now myself, which means many of these dudes are going to be retiring as the time moves on. They're selling their businesses off now to the bigger firms now. So there's a need for younger people to come in as well. You build a loyal client base, which creates a business which you can then sell on later as well. So clients become more loyal to you. They're not just there for a quick mortgage or remortgage and they go to the lender directly next time. They're there with you forever, as long as you keep in touch with them and you service their needs as well. The work is interesting. Mortgages are mortgages. They're fairly straightforward things. Yes, you've got different people, situations, of course you have. But can you imagine yourself doing this for the next 15, 20, 25 years? With financial advisor, you can use Martin Lewis skills. I call the emotional intelligence this guy's got, this ability to communicate with the public. This is where you start to use these skills and use them well. You can earn more money as a financial advisor. That's been proven as well. And it also opens up the later life lending marketplace. So you can start talking about pension pots and all those good things as well. And if you want it, it's a little bit more prestigious, because it is. Whenever you see meetings of financial advisors, independent financial advisors, they all rock up in their nice cars and their Teslas and stuff like that. It's just the way it goes. So there's plenty of benefits to being a financial advisor. So how do you do it then? Well, there's a number of steps that you should take to become a financial advisor. So let's just highlight those for you. The first step is you need to get your level 4 qualification. Now, you've probably read about this. You did a level 3 with CMAP, so that's A-level standard. You now need to get into degree standard and start looking at level 4 qualification. It's more complex, there's a bigger syllabus, there's a lot more to learn. Once you've got that, you then need to set up your business. You can have the same business or a new business or a separate business, but you need to set up your own business to become a financial advisor. Then you need to get your financial advisor permissions. Now, you may already have those with your network you're currently with. You might want to think about joining another network. We have a couple of networks we've been working with over the last couple of years where we have conduits to pass you over to them for them to talk to you about that. So you might want to switch networks because a network has to have different permissions, you see, for different levels of advice. And you might just be in a mortgage-only network, which is great, but it means you can't go any further. Once you've got that set up, you then need to gain your CAS status. In exactly the same way as you did as a mortgage advisor, you need to gain competency status as a financial advisor. And there's a cost issue there as well. Companies need to take you to that level, and they will charge you for that, or there's coaching required, training required. So there's quite a lot of skills and technical capabilities that you need to gain to get that as well. And then once you get that, you then need to every year apply for your statement of professional standing, which is an annual thing, by proving your CPD. CPD becomes mandatory as opposed to voluntary as mortgage brokers. So there's the steps involved then. So what's the first step? Of course, the first step is to get your level 4 qualification. Now there's 3 or 4 places you can get this qualification. And I'm independent as a training provider. I don't sign up to any particular one. I don't think there's any mileage in that. Most of my clients, i.e. you, are whole of market mortgage advisors and independent financial advisors. I think therefore I should be able to do the same. So we've looked at the CII, we've looked at the LIBF and 1 or 2 others. The CII has its suite of exams which work well. Very traditional, very IFA traditional way of going. Separate exams, quite technical. You take the exam, you pass it, you move on. There's 6 that you've got to get. But we're interested in these guys that you might remember called the LIBF. They did your CMAP. Now they have a product called the diploma, or DipFA as it's shortened to as well. And the way this works is like this. This is why we like it. This is why we're supporting it. I think it's right for you. It's right for how you can get the qualification. I think it's also fit for purpose for the modern world. The world is changing now. The technology is doing a lot of the tech stuff, a lot of the details. You've got power planners that networks have for a lot of the technical side of things. So you now need to become more holistic in the way that you give advice. You need to look at a whole client's needs as opposed to just focusing on, say, wealth management. So how does it work then? Well, here's a couple of lines just to summarize for you. It's a 9-month program. In total, you need to put in 300 hours, 1 hour a day. It's doable if you're working. It's real world based, so it's based on real situations. You apply your knowledge and you do research. It's also very interesting and challenging. Each year the LIBF have 3 cohorts to start you. It follows kind of like a university path, and there's the price at the bottom. You're looking a little bit more now on CMAP because there's a bit more involved, as you can see. What I like about the DipFA is it's applying the knowledge that you gain through research. Because that's what advisors do. You don't memorize stuff nowadays, do you? You've got technology to tell you things that you can't remember. But you research, you study client fact finds, case studies. You do your research, you apply your knowledge. So it's very interesting and challenging. But it can be done whilst working full time. If you can do an hour a day, and that might be 2 hours on a Sunday, 2 hours on a Saturday, then half an hour each day. If you do that kind of thing, you will get through it over a 9-month program. So it's very easy to structure yourself, which I like about it. What are we looking to do? What am I looking to do? Well, firstly, it's personally me. Other companies have these, of course they do, but they have a range of tutors they bring in to do it. But I'm doing this myself because we've got the technology to deliver this and deliver it to you personally. So you know what the structure, you know what it's all about. First of all, this is the FUSRI. So FUSRI, remember, is the multiple choice exam. Now for this one, we're going to do a 10-weekly audio stream on a Saturday morning, or Friday, depends what timings are really. So for about 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to do an audio podcast, live one with you, every Saturday on a chapter in the textbook, just to get you up to speed with things, really, clarify a few points. So we'll make those audio recordings available to you. We'll get you some test papers, so there's plenty of those to do as well. And we'll give you access to the CMAP 1 bootcamp for 12 months. CMAP 1 bootcamp, by the way, is not far off FUSRI. That's what we're talking about, really. So we'll give you some guidance on that to help you along the way. That's the first 2 months. For the next 3 months then, we then do the coursework. And what we're going to do here for you guys is we're going to operate 4 2-hour online workshops to help you. Spread over a couple of months, because that's the time period you've got. We're not going to write the exam coursework for you. We can't do that. That's just wrong and illegal as well. But we're going to facilitate you through it. I'm not a tutor, I'm not an examiner, so I can't mark it for you, but we can guide you on what you need to do. We can give you some overviews of assignments, we can give you some audience analysis ideas, planning, researching, writing tips, submission guidelines, and we can give you some support on technical matters if you wanted as well to help you along the way. But I'm going to facilitate you through creating your own coursework. You can't go on to ChatGPT and say, please write coursework for this exam. Don't be smart like that. That's just ridiculous, because they have plagiarism software which picks that sort of thing up. So if you start copying other people's work, they'll pick it up through their software, and you'll get failed, and then you'll lose your license to do anything. I have seen it, people getting hauled up to the FCA for this. But anyway, we facilitate you through it, which is pretty cool. We'll get you submitting that and good to go. Now, the final exam is where we really come into our own, because you've got to do this final exam, type out a client report. But here, you see, because you get the fact find delivered 6 weeks beforehand, we get to have a look at that. A study of it ourselves, and then we run a 2-day interactive workshop over a couple of days, not one after the other. We'll break it up over a couple of weeks, where as a group, because we've only got 8 people maximum on this cohort starting next month, as a group with me live on Zoom, I facilitate you through the fact find and the client report. We talk about all the technical knowledge, we do all the calculations, affordability, report structure, recommendations. We'll discuss them as a group. Again, my job is not to write it for you. My job is to draw it out of the audience so that you learn the ideas, and we learn from each other. It's really cool. Been doing these for quite a few years. Started doing these back in 2009 when the DipFA was invented, and they're really good workshops that get great results. So that's the support that we give you. And there's the web address, which you might want to take a photograph of. I'll put that in the chat box for you as well. There's the web address which you can use to get that information I've just given you. So let's have a look at quick benefits for you of why we're here to help you. As you can all quite happily read those things. So portal and Zoom classes, expert financial advisor myself, been teaching DipFA for a while now, understand the marketplace that we're in, real world teaching, real world facilitation, live classes with me, and reduce fee to the LIBF, because you can knock the fee down by about 100 quid if you don't want their portal. And we give you help beyond just passing. I'll help you through changing your network, maybe getting your CAS, etc., moving you on. So we're helping hands all the way through. So quite a lot of support going on there for you as well, which is exciting, isn't it? Your call to action then. Here's your call to action. First of all, the investment for this support is $9.99. But we do give you a discount if you're a subscriber, which you are, otherwise you wouldn't be on this call. Starts on the 3rd of April. So that's kind of the end of my kind of little presentation. So I think now is the right time to take any questions if anyone's got any. We've got a few people online live. For those of you on the recording, if you want to email me any questions, please do. My email address is paul@paularcher.com. If you want to link in with me, by the way, and I'd love you to link in with me. Here's my LinkedIn address. So that's LinkedIn paularcher.uk. See you soon.